So I picked up Queen's Shadow by E.K. Johnston the day it came out because I was so excited about it. It took me about a week to get through because the writing is a little bit heavier than I normally see in a young adult novel, and I would rate it 3 out of 5 stars. So of course this book is all about our favorite underrated character from the prequels, Padmé Amidala, and it takes place right before her term as Queen of Naboo is up. So it's all about her trying to figure out what she's going to do now that she's entering the real world, as well as what her handmaidens are going to do now that they are no longer serving the queen. So there's not a whole ton of plot in this book, so I'll kind of just give like a really big overview, but it's all about how Padmé becomes the senator, the senatorial representative of Naboo, and kind of the pitfalls she falls into, as well as the successes that she finds on Coruscant and her adjusting to this new life. It's also about not only her handmaidens from the movie, it's more about her new handmaidens that she takes with her to Coruscant now that she is a senator. If you guys, I'm sure you have seen those memes that are like, oh, Padmé was rich, how come she didn't go free Anakin's mom? Well, there is like a kind of cool subplot in here of her sending one of her handmaidens to try to do that. I won't tell you, well, you already know. If you have any experience with Star Wars, you know she does not succeed. But so I guess that's not a spoiler. I thought I was spoiling it, but I'm not. Clearly that does not work out, and it kind of explains why that doesn't work out and what she tried to do to save her. And there's a couple other things in there as well, but I won't spoil too much because there's not a whole ton of plot in this book. So I'll just start with the things that I do really like about this book is it's all about female friendships as well as like female like careers. So her and her handmaidens, they talk about all the time, like they're so close that they can literally like fill in for each other, literally, as we know, like they can stand in for each other and no one will know the difference. That's how in tune they are, and they can make split second decisions without even having to communicate verbally. So I really love like how they describe those friendships outside of like a life or death setting. It's like really beautiful and really supportive, and you know I'm all about woohoo female friendships, so that's really beautiful. I also love just the like how fun it is. It's like a new perspective to the prequels that I didn't think I would ever get to see. Of course, it's a canon book, so it's all true. So it's like a really cool insight into how the Senate actually worked. Because in the movies, you know, we just see them arguing, but this is like kind of insight into the Senate when it kind of was working a little bit better. Of course, we never truly see it completely functional, and that's the tea, but it's kind of a great insight into like the beginnings of things starting to tear down. So that's really cool. Things I didn't love about this book is, like I mentioned before, there's not a whole ton of plot going on. It is really beautiful in like the character development. Like we see tidbits of Padmé thinking about Anakin, and you know, of course, these handmaidens get completely different characters. Like they're all completely different, even though they all are the same in the movie. So that's like really cool character development, but I really could have used a lot more plot in order to like keep my attention. I was getting a little boring, if I'm being completely honest, because not a lot of action happens. It's a lot of politics and sitting around and talking. So I could have used a little bit more plot. And then another thing, this is a silly thing to say, but we all know in the movies, Padmé like changes outfits like every scene. There's a lot of outfit descriptions in this book that I really didn't need to hear about. It was interesting at first, but it's literally like, there'll be a whole page describing the outfit that she's wearing. And I understand that that's a big motif in the movie, but it's not as exciting reading about it as it is just looking at her outfit. So I did not appreciate that. Devil's Advocate, it was pretty cool because E.K. Johnston like did describe like why she was wearing certain outfits, like because it was easy to change out of, or because it was like the fabric was blaster proof, but that I really didn't need to hear about her outfit changes. Sorry. Hopefully you like that. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but would I recommend this book? Yes and no. So if you are a big Star Wars fan and you like to read the novels, I would recommend reading this book because there's a lot of valuable information that we learn about the Senate and Padme as a character and her handmaidens and her relationship with Anakin and blah, 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 the list goes on. But if this is maybe your first Star Wars book, or maybe you're just kind of like a mild fan, I would skip this novel simply because it's not that exciting.